Now let's look at key quotations relating to Mrs. Birling's character. Now bear in mind that Mrs. Birling's character is used to represent the hypocrisy of upper class society. She is supposed to be the head of a women's charity organisation. However, she uses that influence to refuse any aid or help to Eva Smith / Daisy Renton, showing just how immoral wealthy upper class elite women can be. And also what she illustrates is that a lot of upper class women and even middle class women at the time during the Edwardian era were more loyal to their class and their gender. Okay, so Mrs. Birling understood the limitations that women face in society. She understood how much life was even more harder for women who were working class. However, she did not empathize and even think about this when she was rejecting help to Eva Smith / Daisy Renton, especially because she realized that she was calling herself Mrs. Smith. Now, the first thing to show just how hypocritical and judgmental she is, and also how loyal Mrs. Birling is to her class more so than her gender, is when she states in talking about Eva Smith, girls of that class, ... So I've left ellipsis here. And the abstract noun class, when it comes to word level analysis, shows just how Mrs. Birling is so hypocritical, and she looks down upon people from the lower social order and the lower social classes. Again, always remember, women at this time didn't have very many rights. In fact, women were still classified as the property of the husbands. So Mrs. Birling was very well aware of the challenges, the unique challenges that someone like Eva Smith would face. However, in spite of that, she is pretentious, she is hypocritical, and she looks down upon Eva Smith. The other key quotation to bear in mind with her character is when she states how she uses her influence to refuse help to Eva Smith. Okay, she said, "She seemed to me to be not a good case, ... I used my influence to have it refused." Again, what this shows is the hypocrisy of Mrs. Birling being the chairwoman of a women's organisation which is supposed to help women in need. She sees this woman who's in dire need of help. She's even pregnant, and she uses her influence to have it refused, showing just who is really immoral. This upper class lady, Mrs. Birling, is far more immoral than even Daisy Renton, who's an honest prostitute. Okay, now the key word level analysis you want to do here is a sibilance, she seemed, and also the pronouns that Mrs. Birling uses to refer to herself: me, I, and my. What this shows is that she's very pompous. She understands the influence that she had in order to help this lady, but she didn't care. The final quotation to focus on is when she states, "I think she only had herself to blame." What this shows is that Mrs. Birling, much like her husband, takes no social responsibility whatsoever. She does not see it as her duty as an upper class woman to use the influence and the power that she has to benefit poorer and weaker women like Eva Smith and the Daisy Rentons of the world. Now, the word level analysis you want to do here is alliteration of had and herself to show that she really feels that it was Eva Smith's own fault that she died, and it was really only her fault that she even fell pregnant. She doesn't care about all the influences that affect Eva Smith's life. And of course, Mrs. Birling typifies a lot of Victorian views at the time, and of course Edwardian views, that poverty was the mistake, and it was down to the poor people themselves. They were the reasons why they were poor. There was a prevailing belief, which of course was mistaken, that poor people, it was somehow their mistake and their fault that they were poor. They were maybe lazy, not hardworking, and of course this mistake is shown through what she says here. She only had herself to blame. In other words, Eva Smith only had her misfortunes were brought about by herself. So that's it when it comes to word level analysis and the key quotations to remember for Mrs. Birling's character.